Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be working on my field notes journal. Now this is the one that is studying my new environment because I live now near the ocean. So lavender is in my garden. Technically not a wildflower, but there's not a lot of wildflowers out here. I found one that's what I would class as a wildflower, and I don't know, it just didn't inspire me to stitch it. It's like a Livingston daisy, except a really thick, big leaf the size of my finger. She's really leafy, and then these pink flowers. It may pop up later in the book, maybe the flowers, I don't know. But I really felt like I wanted to do a piece for the inside of my journal, and the Dutch iris was there, so lavender just happened to be, I think, the one. So the plan is to reproduce some lavender on this page. Can't be too hard, you'd think. Famous last words. The other thing I want to do is I still have this lace here that I pulled out, and I want to create some way of getting it in. So I'm thinking little pieces of it to create the colour palette is what I'm thinking, but we'll keep thinking. I've got some beads. I've also grabbed my ribbons because I think the top of that lavender is just, has to be a stitch of ribbon. Very much so, and that'll give it that lacy top. I have grabbed out some threads, and I also grabbed, as I walked away from my stand, there's a little bit of wool in here. Just not sure if that's what I want, whether that will help me build up the thickness I need. I don't exactly have a lot of these colours, but I think we can do it. Okay, so let's get ourselves a little bit more organised here. Have I already lost the word lavender? I stamped it. Somehow managed to get it on my hand as well. And now I've lost the word lavender. Oh my goodness. How does this happen? There it is. Okay, so in the process of drawing the plants, I need to take into consideration where all these other accessories are going to go, as in that. I also brought to the table this little book because I remember seeing some bits and pieces in here that I thought might be good for it last week. Is that cow parsley? I wonder if that could be worked into my other page. I've already completed cow parsley. Let's, oh goodness, here we go. Off on a tangent. Let's see. Hang on a minute. Grab my other journal. Cow parsley, where are you? It's very big. I wouldn't say there's an obvious spot for it. It's things like that you need to find when you're constructing your page. It's always difficult to work in elements after the fact. Okay, forget about that idea. Oh, I don't mind that. It's reinforced with some with some paper, so it's nice and strong. What about the butterflies? What's that? The more you look, the more you'll see. No, don't look anymore. I don't need it. What about the butterflies? Sort of feel like I could bring them in because there's a butterfly on the other page. I like this idea. This could be like a little swinging tag that I put a knot on it, or oh, what about one of those, what are they called, where you get a pretty little top and the back of it opens? Can't think of the name of them. It'll come to me. I could attach something like that That would look rather cute. Let's leave that out. Let's get these drawn in. I think I'm quite confident now I can get them drawn in. And if we do a sampler, we could use this lace and create a splash of colour up here on this top corner. Do we go light, dark? Lighter. And do we bring a green in? Yeah. I definitely feel like I can create a cluster up there with this lace. So I'm going to stay away from that region. Can we use, just bear with me guys, shooting some ideas around. Can we use that as a tag to hold it? Why don't I just dry the lavender and stick it in there? That's not such a silly idea. Will make my book rather chunky, and it's brittle, so it might get damaged, and these won't look as good. Right, forget that idea. I think this little word should be able to work somewhere up the top. Butterfly is still, we'll see how we go, and I think that tag we can put down the bottom. So I think we go that way. We'll pull the eye up there. Okay. Look, I press that down and now I've got a stain there. So that's where our lavender head's going, because I just made a mark on my fabric. So we're going to make that our first lavender bud. It's quite cylindrical, isn't it? So even at the top, even at the bottom. And then there'll be these petals coming out the top. Very straight stem. Let's get it in behind here, hey? And then these little leaves, okay. It's quite dense, isn't it? I have to have a think about what stitch I use for that. Don't come all the way to the head of there. There's this gap. Yet in this variety, not so much, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, there's our first lavender. Do we like its position? Second lavender. This guy's got more of a tapered head. I guess I've got to decide, do I stitch over this or have it come from behind? Might do this one a little bit tufty there and then make the tufts a little bit more. So it looks a little bit different. I can't decide. I think I don't like the angle of it. No, I don't like the angle of it, guys. I'm going to grab my iron. I'm going to iron that out. Not happy with that. Like, it's not bad, but and that little stain I just put on my work because I pushed that lavender down is now about to be permanent. But it's okay. It's in the middle. I think we can. I sort of feel like it needs to be more this way. Come on, little iron. like I've got too much angle. I don't know how that came to be. Do they smell? Very strong. Well, one of them is. Purple one. Now, let's have another go. Let's get more of this angle going. So we'll do the big purple guy up here. I don't think the head of the lavender needs to be as big. Straight down. And then we can have a more leaves showing. That's better. Might just shorten that head up. And then I've got a little bit of room for the ribbon to happen at the top. Now this guy, I like the idea that he has a slight angle. The good thing about these pens is you can really, and he had more of a tapered top, you can really play around with your design, and if you don't like it, just make it disappear. So I don't mind that location. It does give me more space to do something else. That's my dogs. There's some noisy neighbours. Our best mates, Kev and Marianne, who I've mentioned before, are currently tripping overseas with two of their daughters, having a little holiday. I think they went to Glasgow yesterday. So they've had a week in London, a week in Scotland now. Kev is Scottish, so he's going back to the motherland. And then next week they're in Paris, and then they're home. Well, they have a block of land across the lake from us. And the grand plan is one day they will live there and semi-retire. Kev can work from home, so it's easy for him to move. And Marianne would dearly love to retire from teaching and maybe be a relief teacher or something. I don't know what she's going to do, but she just wants, she's got a plan. She's finishing. Sort of don't mind that. Yeah, so these noisy neighbours, the block across the lake, are starting to build their house. And this morning at 5:30 in the morning, copious trucks of activity. And yeah, Bandit's not happy. He could see across the lake this huge boom. Oh, isn't that pretty? Let's use that. This huge boom that they're using to pump the concrete to the rear of the block to sort of do the slab, and then they work back to the front. So he could see this big arm clear across the valley or lake, and he was not happy. And then from 5:30 onwards, it was just truck after truck after truck. It seems to have slowed down, so whether they've got all their concrete in now, I don't know. I'm going to do the petals first because that's the most exciting bit, and we're going to do that first. So I need a crewel needle. Oh my goodness, why don't I ever remember to bring the correct needles to the project. I've got a stitching station by the couch, and that's where all the good stuff is. Wait me a moment, guys. I'm back. I'm back. So, yeah, there's been a lot of activity across the lake. Those noisy neighbours. So I sent a noise complaint to them. They're over in Scotland. They'd probably be asleep now. I sent a noise complaint to them about these noisy neighbours. They're upsetting my dog. Mr. Bandit is like, what is that in the air moving around? It's a massive boom. It's huge. We had a pretty big one here too to pour the slab for Gaz's shed because it's at the rear of our block and the house was already built. They needed this huge boom to get the, you know, get the concrete back there. Okay, concentrate. What are we doing here? They've got this like looseness about them. I might put the ones at the back of the, so looking at that flower, I'm going to try and get these guys at the back and then I can bring those ones at the front. I might see if I can find a darker lavender too, darker purple. Maybe this one is a little bit darker. This is the bit I was looking forward to the most, is putting the top of this little plant in position. Just keeping it gentle. Don't yank it, girl. When you go onto Pinterest, there's so many examples of lavender. You can stitch it with so many different variations of stitch. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Excellent. Now let's see if I can find a darker ribbon. Put my little morsel back in, that little treasure. There's another truck. How much concrete do they seriously need? Obviously a bit. The neighbours must be impressed that live next door. I'm about 1 kilometre away. If you were to walk around the lake, it's about 1 K. Across the lake, oh, probably very similar. Do I have a really dark purple? That one there, but it's really yucky ribbon. Let's see. This is from Silk Studio. Yeah, here we go. A smaller purple ribbon. What else have we got? I'm tempted to do that one. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hold the phone. There's more. But wait, there's more. Oh gosh, there's lavender and there's lavender in there. I feel like I need to go dark. Like that is pretty dark. I think I will, because that's the lavender in my garden. And I think I'm going to use this one, and we'll just, or this one, I don't know. Tonal wise, I think we're going to go the brighter one. So my instinct was to go this guy here, but I think I'll go this guy. If we can get it out of there. Come on. You can hear Fudgy snoring. Well, if I can't get it off the card, we're not going to play. Is there another one? I can see another peaky purple there. How about you? not dark enough. We would prefer it to be a bit wider, but I don't think I have... Oh, hello. I don't know. There's too many purples, guys. Is there anything in colour stream? Just bear with me as I just rat around here. Maybe I do use that. Oh, I don't know. I can't believe the difference in purple shades. Not happy. It's just not right. No, just make a decision. No, no, no. We're back to here. Maybe I do that one. It's fallen off. The other one I can't get off. I'm glancing across to my threads and I can see purples in there that would work with it. Yeah, let's just do it. It's not exactly that, but it will do. Make a decision, Corrine. Stop letting the power of purple slow you down. This is going to be a more petite one. It's a real field notes, isn't it, when you've got different colours. I think doing this top section is the way to go because it's really setting up the shape of it. Put a little twist into that guy so he's a bit twisted. Looks like a pand. I don't like it either. Oh my goodness. Talk about fiddling around. I think I need something in front of those three to break them up. They look like a childlike drawn three. Need to soften it. Nothing like live TV. Well, it's not live, but there's no editing here. Just to break that up a little bit. That's better. It's still a little bit fingers, but it's okay. It'll be just fine. Now, white. That should be a bit easier to find. A nice white. That one there. Creamy. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's the one. Gee, it's wide. No, it's not going to be the one. I think the other width was better upon reflection. So I'm going to have a little dig through here. Yeah, here we go. It's got a little bit of cream in it. I'll be okay with that. I do not like that, guys. Not happy. Ribbon's very hard to salvage once you pull it out. Maybe once this guy goes in. it'll hide the fact that that's so... Got to make a decision. Do we remove it? Yeah, we're removing it. You know what I think it is? It's the colour too. I think the thickness of the... It's gone. Oh, I can't believe I just wasted that. I think the thickness of the ribbon, I guess this is about 3 mil. Measure it just to see. I think it's easily 3 mil. Yeah, and this ribbon is 7. That's the size of ribbon we want. I think this is just too fine, and I'm not liking the colour, and it's this that's putting me off. My tone is not quite right. So just scrap that bit. It's got to go. If you don't like it, pull it out. I once had an artist, a textile artist, say very early in the watching of YouTube due to lockdown period of my life, that if you make an error, you leave it because it is your error and it is got beauty in itself. And I was like, oh, okay, is that what we got to do? So for a bit I was doing that, but then there was always these little spots on projects, because I wasn't on YouTube then. There were all these little spots on projects where I could see where the stitch wasn't right, or it was just the wrong stitch. And I'm thinking, well, the artist, I won't name the artist, said that that's okay and leave it and embrace it and that's your error. And I'm thinking, in the end, I think it was probably a year later, I was like, no, that looks bodgy. I'm pulling it out. And I sort of remember my grandmother would say, your stitch doesn't look right. It's the wrong angle, or it's this, when I was learning fancy work, doing doilies. And I thought, you know, you got to do you. And if you're looking at a piece and there's a section that's just not right, and even Fleur said it, that if you've just stitched a whole piece and it just doesn't look right, stitch over it. Just keep stitching until it does look right, because it's, you know, very, very gracious thread. I'm putting the wrong flower in the wrong spot. That's that one. We want this guy in first. All right. We're looking for thicker ribbon that's more in keeping with that. That might not be as easy. Maybe I've got to go the same one as I used. Maybe that's the problem. I'm using too many colours. That could be the problem. I think it is. We're going to get that scrap of ribbon that's back. Hang of a mess. That's it. We're going to use it again. When it works, it works. So, my theory is, if you've stitched something and you don't like it, pull it out or stitch over it. It's part of the fun. You can, you know, have another go. That's my theory for the day. Another chenille needle is what we're looking for, which we've now got. I wonder if I could get a petal that looks... No, don't do that. I was thinking one that's a little bit more loose, sideways looking. But I might do that for the white one. And just don't mess with the... with what looks good, this. See, it matches that. It's just better. Trying to get myself up a soft knot. Right. Okay. I can hear my iron clicking. Don't forget it's switched on, Corrine. Isn't colour tricky? I might try twisting that guy. I sort of feel like I could get a little bit of movement. yes. Oh, look at that, guys. I twisted it there. Oh. So pleased I pulled that out. I might do the petal at the back this time, and I'll keep him like the others, just straight into the top of the ribbon. And this one, oh, I love it, love it, love it. I probably should be doing this at the end because now I'm going to be dragging threads everywhere. I'll do a twist again, and I'll maybe get a bit of space. Oh, yes. Yes. Isn't that better? That other ribbon just looked like a hand, you know, a really rigid fingers. Okay. Now, the white ribbon. And the flowers themselves, I can now adjust to suit this ribbon. I think I'd rather have that than come in with all that as knots and find that it's just not sitting right. Where will I put the next one? Will we lay it in there or back there? I think we'll go random and come over here with a little petal, just a little one. They really are the prettiest of flowers. Yes. Oh yes. All right. Walk away from the ribbon before you overcook it. There we go. We've got it. Let me zoom it up to you so you can see. There we go. Love, love, love it. Now, we have beads. We have the potential of French knots. We have a plant that is quite dense, but then there's these little flowerets on it. Maybe that should be beads. That seems very matchy-matchy. There's a darker. I could do that and that. Oh, I don't know. I've lost my confidence because of that ribbon incident. No. Keep wanting to go darker. Wish I could hear you guys. I'm sure you're all going, do this, do that. Let's just have a go. What can happen? We pull it out and we do something else. So we're going to test it. We're going to place a couple little knots. I think I want to do the knots. I could do some bullion, but I sort of feel like I want that round denseness of it. Do I do French knots? 2, 3. Get a little bit of height. And then in amongst these knots, let me zoom in so you can sort of see it. I think that's the right one, guys. 1, 2, 3, and down we go. Well, this will keep me busy for a while. Yeah, I think this will be good. Let's get a few in. How brave am I to do green French knots and white flowers? That's not a classic stylized lavender. Don't know if I'm that brave. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is going to work. What I'll do is we'll work the top of this little guy, because the other one will just be a repeat. That guy. What we'll do is once I get in, a few more in, these knots will go to the bead section next. I wonder if I could go to 4 knots through the belly of it to get a bit more height. 2, 3, 4, 4 wraps to start building up a bigger knot through the top, that top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do it. It gets that more of a raised feel instead of a flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. One more. I do a 3 wrap one. I'm back up where that ribbon is. 1, 2, 3. Cheeky last knot. Okay. All right. So let's grab the beads now. It's unthreaded. Gee, that lavender smells. It's very strong. It's nearly a bit much. My gerbras, for those of you who've been hanging around for a while with me, you would know I've got a planting of gerbras, hot pink ones at my front door. They are starting to look really sad. Summer is here. Actually, all my plants are starting to look a bit sad. The heat has come and yeah, nothing's happy. So I'm going to have to reconsider some of my plantings and find some more arid-like plants. So a trip to the nursery. Oh, what a shame. Now I'm just going to bring my needle up in amongst these knots with a couple little stitches and see which bead works. Do we disguise the bead by going a similar colour, or do we make a feature? I'm thinking we need a feature. Be bold. Plus this bead is smaller than that bead. Yep, that's it. And if I can nestle him down in there, he is going to look perfect. If you didn't have beads that suit your colours, I would do a French knot in a different colour. Or maybe a colonial knot so that it's a different shape and it can nestle down in amongst. I can't go overboard with the beads. Already I can see they are quite a powerful statement. So steady girl with the beads. Let me grab a little bowl because I want to put the decisions made so far into a bowl. So they're in and that's in. Okay, we don't need ribbon anymore, so I can put that away. Don't think we need what would happen if we did that one and that? It matches so beautifully. Let's do a few knots in it. Why not? And then we need to work out what we're doing. Oh yeah, it's pretty. We could have a third colour, couldn't we? We'll make the piece very cohesive with that down there. This could be just a younger or an older head of lavender that's starting to finish its flowering. Another thing I've seen on lavender is there can be a series of little knots down here a little bit, sort of not necessarily just the head of the lavender. You can have, so I might even have a think about that as I work my way down these heads. Maybe do a little cluster further down. Yeah, I like that, guys. And I think I can still use that same bead. That'll help bring it together. 1, 2, 3. Gosh, 45 minutes gone already. Not sure what day you guys will be watching this next week. See, I'm filming Saturday morning. So next week I've got to take Dad to Brisbane for the first of his consults before they work out how they're going to approach his next lot of surgery. So that's Tuesday. So I'm just not sure what day you'll be watching this. It might be Tuesday. Could be Wednesday. Who knows? I'm yet to have a look at my diary. So I've got the weekend to work on my lavender. And so Saturday for me, I'll do one more knot out of that. And tomorrow, Sunday, for me, will be go across and pick Dad up. And then he's with me for a couple of days to do a flying trip to Brisbane. He also needs to get some stitches out locally as well, so we will be doing a bit of gallivanting. Okay, let's just try one of these little beads again. End that off. And then I'll stitch the heads of the lavender, and then I'll come back in the next video and we'll work out what the leaves are going to be, and we'll do the final placement of these. Oh, I don't mind that in there. Yeah, I like that. And I like that. Anyway, put those bits in there. Butterflies are still not out of play, but let's just get a couple little beads in that guy. And I'm thinking the same colour. Then we must be due for a new prompt. That's a bit exciting. Don't the 2 weeks go quick? They do when you're doing 2 journals, 1 page per week. Yeah, that's great. I really like that. Same, but different. I think I have to be quite sparingly with these beads too. Now the little guy next to it, here's an idea. What if I bead him? Is that a silly idea? Let's just end this off. I like that idea. Dodgy little knot. Just do a proper knot, girl. Let's have a think. So they go into the bucket. They go into the bucket. Let's zoom up a little bit. Don't need those. Let's have a look at maybe beading the white one. That would be rather cute, I think. I'd have to make it look random, so I might pick up two beads. And then we'll come back through those 2 beads. Yeah, I'm going to like this. I'm going to put another bead up into the folds of that petal. You guys can't see real well. And I'll need to get rid of that black pen too before I get too far ahead of myself. Just so that I might do that now. I can hear my iron clicking. Just want to touch that black out of there while I can get in there. Yeah, that's going to be really good. I'm happy with that. So we're beading the white lavender. French knots the others. I'll keep them quite piled up on each other. So that's 2. Two at a time. That's what we want. Yeah, that's going to look quite pretty. And we've got a bead that won't go through the needle. Okay, that's a sign to do one more, and then we'll leave it at that. And when I come back, the top of the lavender will be completed. I'm going to make sure the beads roll over a little bit more. Yeah, I don't want to see the top of the beads. So I'm just going to make sure they give me the shiny side of them and not the whole. So it might be one bead at a time, so I can control the bead. And another one that won't go through. Okay, let's leave it at that and pop those in my little bowl. Now I need a needle for the French knots. They're ready, so I'm packing up my supplies. I think that's it, guys. And like I said, we'll come back and work on the actual little leaves in the next video. We will then complete our sampler, which will be the colour swatch, and then there's those little pieces of paper here that have potential of joining the project as well. So that will be tomorrow's video. All right, guys, I can put them away, put them in there. Okay, you guys have a great day. I'm going to toddle off, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.